PCN is brought to you in part by the following underwriters.
Welcome to PCN, PACTV's weekly community news show, bringing you stories from Kingston, Duxbury, Pembroke, and Plymouth. We have a full show tonight, so sit back and enjoy.
That's right, Julie. We take you to a beekeeping class in Pembroke, meet a prestigious award-winning employee from the Plymouth Boys and Girls Club, and hear about a family reading program starting up in March.
We'll stop into a Valentine Gala event. Town Talk is from Pembroke, and we begin a new pet health and wellness segment.
We have some special guests in the studio later on, but we'll start tonight with the popular subject of college admissions. A couple of years ago, I was applying to college. Okay, it was a lot more than a couple of years ago, but here's what I remember. I got pamphlets in the mail from colleges all over the country. Some I knew, many that I didn't even know existed. I figured out which ones I liked, I applied, kept my fingers crossed that I got in. Those days are gone, and parents and students are now dealing with a whole new set of rules. Luckily for parents in Duxbury, the Parent Connection brought in speaker Mary Lee Jones, a former admissions officer for MIT, to help them chart a course over these rough waters.
No one understands anymore how to get into college. It seems that the rules have changed. We don't understand what the rules are and why even they've changed. So parents feel the growing tension that they've got to do something to help their kids get into the right schools. They just don't even know where to turn.
Because they're not living the life that we lived, right? They're really living very different lives.
Every time we have a speaker for the Parent Connection, we like to then sum up what the speaker had to say in the top 10 takeaways. That's what we're known for. You can go on our website. For every one of our speakers, our board ends up compiling what we think are the most important points, and you can go out and read about the top 10 takeaways. With Marilee and the college process, the college admissions process, there's such a frenzy around it because there's so much information and you're involved with a lot of high school kids that what we hope coming out of this particular presentation is that parents are armed with knowledge. They understand that there is a school for everyone out there, and hopefully we help them to navigate the process so that they still have a wonderful relationship with their senior when it's all said and done.
I'm lucky in that I've spent my whole career in college admissions. I've been on the other side of the desk, behind the black curtain. So I know what college admissions officers are doing, and I know why. The business has really changed, especially in the last 5 years. So I'm going to pass the secrets on to the crowd so that they can understand what's really going on through the eyes of an admissions officer. They can understand what an admissions officer is looking for, and then they can take that information and pass it on to all their friends so that everybody understands the rules of the game, since the colleges are not passing that information on themselves. They have to understand that the college admissions process is a business now. It's a full-out business. All the colleges want to have the best position on the U.S. News & World Report. The college admissions office owns 4 of the 15 factors of that algorithm. Right. So what I want the people to know is they want as many applications as possible, so they're going to encourage your child to just apply. They want to take as few of those kids as possible, because they don't want to take very many. That's called the admit rate. And they want as many of those kids to enroll as possible. That's called the yield, and that's where all the decisions get made, based on decisions around yield for that college. This is very different from the old days when decisions were based on whether this was a good educational match between the school and the student. I hope that when parents go home tonight, they fall back in love with their children, because this is a very tough period of life, both for the teenagers and for the parents of teenagers. I want them to understand that their children are not them, and that it's very hard to relate to the lives of our kids because they're really living in very deep water now, and we cannot protect them. So I want parents to feel relaxed. I want them to understand the rules better. I want them to be much more supportive about their children, and I really want them to get what the whole point of it is. It's to help kids develop resilience and turn into wonderful adults.
You know, Brian, I had 2 kids that went through this whole process, and boy, is that true. It is an event to apply to college now. It's crazy. There's so many moving parts.
I'm sure it is. It was nothing like that when I was growing up. But I'm just wondering, what would be tougher? Raising your kids, putting them through college, or raising a colony of bees?
Well, the Plymouth County Beekeepers Association is currently holding a beekeeper school in Pembroke to help new beekeepers learn how to set up a hive and maintain their colonies. PCN recently stopped by one of their classes to check in on the state of bees in our area and to see what the course is all about.
About 1/3 of all of our produce are pollinated by bees. So if you can imagine that 1/3 of all your produce is going to disappear, apples, oranges, pears, I can go on and on, it's endless. And if you want to live without those, then that's what's going to happen if the bees disappear. So that's what you want to do, is really get the bees. But the course is not solely intended for people just to have bees. We want to make people aware of the bees. So if in the end you decide the bees are a little too intimidating, you're going to know how to plant certain plants to help other people's bees, and stay away from the pesticides and whatever the people have that they're using in their yards now that are killing the bees.
It used to be you could just put a box of bees in the backyard, add supers in the fall, take the honey out, leave them there, honey, tuck them in for the winter. The next spring they started up again. They went, they swarmed, they did their thing, they made more honey, and year after year you just could do this. But with the incursion of the varroa mite back in the mid-'80s, I believe, is when they came in. That's when all the trouble started. Because what happens is the mites vector viruses around within the hive. Because of the compromised immune systems of the bees, because of the chemicals, the bees cannot withstand the viruses, they die. That, in a nutshell, is what's going on.
We're going to lose 1/3 of our produce food source, and that can be pretty devastating. And not only that, a lot of the scientists that are looking into this today, because the bees are dying off, they're starting to say that the bees may be the little canary that's in the cage and telling us how we're treating the environment. So if the bees are dying, there's a reason for it, and maybe they're trying to tell us something.
I feel that it's our industrial food system that is killing the honeybees, along with all the other pollinators. We worry about the honeybee because the honeybee pollinates our food, but all of the pollinators are in trouble because of the industrial agricultural chemicals that are used. That's what I think is doing it.
What the school teaches people to be aware of are the bees themselves and the environment. And that's a huge factor, even more than owning the bees. If you can just realize how you have to treat the environment today to make these bees survive and what they need to survive, it's only going to better our life existence too.
They're here to learn how to keep bees. They're in their backyard. They're here to learn the whole process, from the time we place the order through the time that we install them, and all the way through the summertime onto honey season, we hope, and everything from soup to nuts.
We give everybody a list of flowers or plants that they want to plant, what the bees need, the chemicals that they don't want to use, or if they have to use chemicals, how they want to try and use them properly, read the labels, use them properly, and basically provide a bee-friendly environment. That's our overall game here, is to provide a bee-friendly environment.
Basically 136 paid members, that's a lot. A lot. And I hope that they are all happily successful and carry on with their bees.
Plymouth County Beekeepers is a non-profit organization, so we're really not into this for the money. And the $50 that the people spend here, 15 goes towards the club. That leaves us with 35 to run this whole school. That includes a book, the handouts, everything that we need to present the school with. And so we're not into this to make a profit. It is really about the bees.
Christy Young, Director of Operations at the Plymouth Boys and Girls Club, has been named a 2014 Maytag Dependable Leader Award winner and has secured a $20,000 grant for the club's scholarship program. Ms. Young won the award for her tireless dedication to make a difference and as a positive role model for youth. PCN met up with Ms. Young to tell us more about winning this prestigious award.
I am the Director of Operations. I had started out as a youth counselor, was a summer counselor, Then I became the sports and fitness director. Then I was the program director, and now I'm the director of operations. I enjoy coming up with programs. I enjoy implementing programs, giving them the tools that they need to be successful in the future, and just having fun with them. It's like being a big kid every day. So by being like a consistent adult in their life who's guiding them, providing them with resources to either better themselves academically or in any other areas that they want to succeed in, and just by being someone who always has an open door, an open ear, and then just being kind of like that big sister or whatever role model that they need. I like to fit that mold. The Maytag Dependability Award, it's given to, I guess, people that have been nominated for being dependable and for being leaders within their community. So the award means a lot to me in this club. With what it is, it's a $20,000 grant made from Maytag Dependability, and with that money, it's a financial grant. So with this money, we're able to serve more families who may not otherwise be able to afford, the programs that we have for our after-school programs or club memberships. So, and I have been saying, with more, we can do more. So with this money, we're able to serve more families who wouldn't otherwise be able to participate. With the award, my executive director, Gareth, had nominated me because obviously he saw something in me that it's hard for me, this is my job, this is what I love to do. So to me it was, it came by a shock because I love to do this. So it was a really wonderful thing to have come my way. And I think a big part of him nominating me for that award was when I had gotten sick a couple years ago. I was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And against my doctor's wishes, who they had told me to stop working, you need to be at home, you need to rest, I just refused that, and I had to be with the kids, and I couldn't afford to take so much time off to not be with them because I didn't want them to think I had given up on them, and I loved being around them. So in the capacity that I could do that with them while I was sick and in treatment, I wanted them to see that no matter what obstacles come your way, no matter what barriers that you face, that you have the ability to get through them no matter what. So hopefully that showed them that, no matter what you want to be or what you want to do in life, it's available to you.
The Plymouth Public Library is launching a new family reading program in March for children ages 6 to 10 and their caregivers. The program is sponsored by Mass Humanities, who recruits storytellers to facilitate family reading and character-building concepts. PCN met up with Mass Mouth founder Andrea Lovett, who is the storyteller for the Plymouth series, to tell us more about the program and how families can sign up.
I'm Dina Moschek. I'm from the Plymouth Public Library. I'm one of our youth services librarians. We're very excited to be bringing Family Adventures in Reading back to the library this March for 6 weeks. It's a great family program. Storyteller will be working with kids and their adults to discuss several stories. They'll be able to pick up their books every week at the program. They'll discuss them the next week. It's a really exciting program. We're really excited to have it back. Several of our families who participated in the program last year really enjoyed it. They were asking us beginning last fall if we'd be doing it again this year.
Come pull up a chair and we'll read. Yo. Hi, my name is Andrea Lovett. I'm a storyteller for Mass Humanities, and I am coming to present FAIR, Families Adventures in Reading. It's like a book club for families. Each week, families come in, they receive 2 books, and they go home and read them, and the following week we come as a group and read those books together. Each week we have a different theme, activities that follow the theme, and a craft to follow that. And there's snack too, if that's not enough. We invite you to come and join us. I love this program. It's one of my favorite. I hope to see you.
The really great thing about having a storyteller working with the kids and the families is that she has a lot of expertise sharing the stories already. She knows the stories ahead of time, so the kids and their families will bring in great ideas, but she also is able to help bring the stories to life in a way that they might not get at home. The program begins March 14th. It'll run for 6 consecutive Saturdays through March and April. Families who are interested in signing up can sign up on the library's website, plymouthpubliclibrary.org, or by giving us a call.
You know, Brian, I hope real books never go out of style, because you see so many kids these days reading on phones and on tablets and on any device that needs a battery or Wi-Fi, but the actual feeling of a book is something you just can't replace, and it's a wonderful thing to do with your kids.
And it has real words in it, as opposed to like shortened RU and numbers and this, that, and the actual, it's like
sentences.
A whole, sentences and sentence structure, so that's pretty exciting too.
Yep, that's good.
The Plymouth Education Foundation was founded in 2008 as a way to make private funds available to public schools for worthy endeavors, such as arts programs and scholarships, and other things that are not funded by tax-based revenues. Every year, they have their Valentine Gala to raise funds for the foundation. The event was open to the public and was black tie optional. So we stopped in with our cameras to get the scoop. Dining and dancing going on tonight inside the pavilion at the Pine Hills for the annual Valentine's Gala for the Plymouth Education Foundation. Maybe not dancing, but definitely some mingling, at least during the cocktail hour, where the music was provided by the Plymouth South Jazz Ensemble. For the foundation, the Valentine's Gala is the big event of the year.
It's an annual event. It's our major fundraiser we do every year, the weekend prior to Valentine's Day.
Nicole Manfredi is the chair of the evening's event. She explained that a portion of the fundraising comes from the silent auction that takes place.
The silent auction, there's a variety of items donated by local businesses and community members. And it's during cocktail hour, and guests are invited to bid on items, and then during dinner we'll announce the winners of each.
Following cocktail hour, folks adjourned down the hall to the dining area, where we caught up with Bob Betters, the founder of the Education Foundation. He was also presenting this year's Excellence in Education Award.
Well, the money that's being raised tonight by this event, which is our premier fundraising event, is used to augment programs, opportunities, etc., primarily in the Plymouth Public Schools or for other government nonprofit entities like libraries, senior center, etc. But primarily what we do is provide funds for programs, opportunities, etc., in the Plymouth Public Schools. That's basically what we do. Tonight benefits us not only from a public perspective to get the word out in terms of what we do, but it also is to raise funds.
We hope that people understand our mission, support us, go out to the community, spread the word that we're looking to be the #1 fundraising entity in the community for public education.
Reporting from the Pine Hills in Plymouth, Brian Sullivan, PACTV Community News.
We have a new segment to introduce this week. It's a new take on our health and wellness, and it's all about pet health. We begin in Plymouth at Court Street Animal Hospital to get some information on assisting pets in cold weather.
Hi, my name is Norm Stillman. I'm one of the veterinarians at the Court Street Animal Hospital in Plymouth. I'm here today for PCN's Animal Health segment, and today I thought we'd talk about some animal considerations during the winter time. A couple topics I thought would be appropriate. The first one, just a quick talk about whether or not pets can walk on areas that have been treated with de-icer. The general answer is yes. Most pets do very well with just some regular sidewalk salt. A few of them maybe get a little bit of irritation between their toes, and for pets that have shown some propensity for that, I think that there are some very good pet-safe products out there that will not cause any irritation at all. So if your pet shows a little bit of irritation, then just look for the pet-safe label. Other than that, really no consideration there at all. The other issue I think it's important is an animal's exposure to the cold. People ask me all the time whether a dog or a cat can stay out in the cold. My general answer is no. I think that there's really no such thing as an outdoor dog. And even dogs like Huskies or Malamutes or Newfoundlands, which seem like they're really built for the cold, still appreciate a warm place to retire to after they've been outside playing around. My general rule is that if you think you'd be cold out there for a long time, then probably they would too. So just use your common sense and try to limit their exposure. Of course, if they get wet, then it's more important they get inside. Once they get wet, their coat's not as insulating as it was, and then getting them inside and getting them dried off, I think, is pretty important. Same goes for cats, just common sense with them. Ideally, I think cats would stay indoors. I think there are a lot of good reasons to keep them in. A lot of predators, diseases, parasites out there. But if your cat must go outside, just try to limit his or her exposure. Make sure he or she has a place to get out of the cold, that you're attentive to his or her requests to come back inside. And if he comes in wet, try to dry him off quickly and warm him up. Just use your common sense, and I'm sure your pets will be fine. Thanks so much for the opportunity. I look forward to talking with you again.
This week, Town Talk brings us up to Pembroke for a midwinter update.
Hi folks, this is Ed Thorne, Pembroke Town Administrator, giving you another update on town activities for this upcoming weeks. Basically, this time of year is budget time for most cities and towns on the South Shore. And as per the custom, I will be presenting a budget to the Board of Selectmen this evening and to our advisory committee next week. And in probably about 2 weeks, I'll be sitting down at great length with the advisory committee to discuss my proposed budget for FY16. Right now, it's balanced, which is a good thing at this time of year. We're awaiting information from our state senator, DiMacedo, and state rep Cutler regarding the status on local aid. So any increase that we get in Chapter 70 funds and local aid will be most greatly appreciated, and we'll be able to put it to good use. So in addition to the general fund budget that includes the school department, we'll be looking at some major items for the spring town meeting. We're looking at some improvements to some of our parks and our swim programs, as well as some handicap and accessible improvements. And a big project could be the possible dredging of Furnace Pond. We've been looking at that for several years now, and now that the town is thinking about acquiring some property adjacent to the pond, we think this might be a doable project for the future. So those are the things that we've got lined up for the spring, in addition to some capital improvements to either the fires, the police station, town hall, and of course the big project would be the community center. So those are all going to be topics that we'll be dealing with in the next couple of months leading up to town meeting at the end of April 2015.
Well, what do you think? I think the biggest thing on every single town manager's agenda is going to be snow removal.
Yeah, and budgets for snow removal, which they've probably tapped into year 2020 by now.
Yeah.
It's been unreal.
It's been an unbelievable time here in New England. And we want to warm up, and what better way to warm up than with two wonderful musicians that we're going to be lucky enough to have in our set today. And we're going to turn it over to our arts and entertainment reporter, Maureen Bates. So take it away, Maureen.
Thank you, Julie. So today on set we have Haley Sabella and Jake Hill, two of Plymouth's well-established solo artists, here to talk about their collaborative project. So collaboration, Jake.
Yep, collaboration is the spice of life, and when you live close enough to another person who's doing a similar type of music as you are, it's important to try to collaborate. It doesn't oftentimes work, but it really worked quickly with us, and so we were off and writing songs in no time and working on it and made this record, and it's out, and we're really proud of it.
Excellent, excellent. So Billington C is a pretty cool name, I think. Where did it come from?
Well, I was looking for something. Well, Jake kind of pawned off the naming on me because he doesn't. I don't know. It's not something he really. Yeah. So I was doing some research, and I wanted something that kind of tied us to Plymouth and tied us to the landscape. And so I looked at pond names, and I liked the ring of Billington Sea. and the judges agreed that it was appropriate.
Great, thank you. Well, thanks for coming on the set today. We'll have you be closing out the show today, and what will you be singing for us?
A song called Ladder Song.
Great, take it away.
Thanks, Maureen. 2, 1.
I've been on the ladder all day. I prefer the ground, but the ladder pays. Legs are burning, tempers turning. I've been on the ladder all day. Well, I've been swinging the hammer all day. I prefer the rod, but the hammer pays. Toes getting cold, I miss home. I've been swinging the hammer all day. Rain or shine, it's working time. Plant me a penny, try to grow a dime. Turn the soil over so the roots can breathe. One day we'll grow us money trees. I've been digging them footings all day. I prefer to be digging the foreman's grave. When I'm stalling, boss man's hollering. I've been digging them footings all day. Rain or shine, it's working time. Plant me a penny, try to grow a dime. Turn the soil over so the roots can breathe. One day we'll grow us money trees. I've been working since I could stand, just to bury my bones on my own land. Ain't that funny, another American dummy? I've been working since I could stand. Rain or shine, it's working time. Plant me a penny, try to grow a dime. Turn the soil over so the roots can breathe. One day it'll grow us money trees.